Sure.
Okay, can you hear us? Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna do the attendance in Zoom. We have Kathy Stacy. We have Jason Henry. We have Jason Smith. We have the sheriff, and looks like the major. And is that Tom Tomarella?
It is.
It is. Okay, Tom, okay. So, and then here in the boardroom, we have Jim Gates, Allison Foskey, we have Katie Casey, we have Leila, we have Commissioner Godu, myself. Commissioner Coyle is unable to be with us today. So we'll be here next week. But, okay, we'll start the meeting with opening with the HVAC equipment replacement.
Make a motion to authorize the Senior Director of Facilities Planning and IT to review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
I'll second that. And is there any discussion on that motion?
No discussion for me.
Okay, if not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, opening for the handheld narcotics detection device.
Make a motion to authorize the High Sheriff to review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
We'll second that motion. Is there any discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Yes. Award for the dishwashing and laundry chemicals.
Make a motion to award the proposal for dishwashing and laundry chemicals as follows. To Hilliard for lotion hand soap for the Department of Corrections for the amount not to exceed $902.20 for a 1-year period beginning August 1st, 2023. And also to WB Mason for all other Department of Corrections and Environmental Services items for an amount not to exceed $79,349.93 for a 2-year period beginning August 1, 2023, as recommended by the Senior Director of Facilities Planning.
We'll second that motion. Is there any discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. It refurbish hospice suites and family room, long-term.
Make a motion to award the proposal for refurbish hospice suites and family room to Wellesley Design Consultants for an amount not to exceed $177,200 as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
We'll second that motion. Is there discussion?
I do have a little bit of a discussion here. I respect the recommendation by Jason Smith, and I'm sure this vendor is perfectly highly qualified. And I read the proposal; it looks great. But what concerns me is not just this one, but this has happened before. This is the only bid that we've received. There was another company that came in and did a walkthrough and then didn't put a proposal through. And I just wonder if we ought to be a little bit more aggressive with our advertising in general, not necessarily specific to this one item, but in general to attract more people to bid on our projects. I don't know if there's any thoughts.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking sometimes these specialty items, there are the bid. And then I would believe that the process was put out there. We use, what's the name of that system?
Public purchase.
And who's it? We have like people that are on a mailing list for that, or that's just open to the public?
There's vendors that are registered, so, and they all have categories, so if there's a category, if there's a category on the RFP that falls under their category, then they will receive notification of that.
Let me ask Jason Smith a quick question, if you don't mind. Was this this fall in the budgetary item that you had planned for, this number? Was it over? Was it
No,
under?
that is the number that we have budgeted for. It's within the budget line for the project for the new fiscal year. And just as a point of reference, we have submitted the RFP to other designers. The problem is there's not all of them that specialize in long-term care communities with medical grade products. So we do send them out to a handful of different vendors that we have within Rockingham County. But Wellesley Design has basically won the award and have won the award for the other projects in assisted living because they have been the only vendors. I remember that when we were doing the sunroom, the solarium room, we sent it, I believe, to 8 different designers to help with the design plan, and Wellesley Design was the only one that came back with a recommendation. So we have also not only put it on public purchase, but we also try to send it out to other community within the counties.
Maybe that's something.
No, I-
Road.
I appreciate the hard work that Jason's doing on this and diligent to try to access more bids. It's just a little disappointing that we don't even get a comparative price. But having said that, I'm in favor of this
Okay,
motion. So.
yeah, and then I will be in favor as well for 2-0 on that one.
Thank
All
you,
right.
commissioners.
Going on to consent agenda.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the June 22nd, 2023 public and non-public meeting minutes.
Okay, I will second. And is there any additions, subtractions, or anything?
I read them, I'm good with them. I don't think that Commissioner Coyle will have any difficulty.
I mean,
or
one of the other options, we could table it and allow Commissioner Coyle to vote on it. I'll leave it up to you what you feel.
I don't feel that it's necessary to wait. There's nothing controversial in the minutes, and if she has some corrections or that she wants to make, she can bring that up next week, and I'm happy to entertain anything that she want to change.
All right, so there was a motion on the floor, I seconded it, so on the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes,
then I will do this. Okay, in our packet, we have the adult medical daycare, which is a payout report, it's informational, we had that in the packet. I don't know if there's any discussion there, if not, we'll also look at the HR bi-weekly recruitment report that was provided. If there's any questions or anything there you'd like to add.
it appears to me that we're doing pretty well with some of the recruitment activities. Is that activity doing well? Are you pleased with the amount of applicants that we're getting?
I mean, the nursing is, we're just not getting anything, but that in our outreach. I just was at an HR affiliate group meeting and they're finding the same things. There's just nobody out there. We're competing against hospitals and private practices, medical offices and stuff as well. So that's just gonna continue to be a dire situation, but I think for some of the other positions, with the exception of correctional officers, they're kind of in the same bucket as the nursing home. We are getting activity on some of the general other positions that we have open. So Autumn seems very aggressive in her outreach, and she is cold calls. She's made some cold calls and we have a good prospect for one of them right now.
How are we doing with schools, specifically for nursing? The nurses graduate, they're all looking for a job right away. That's where the new pool is. Are we aggressively hitting UNH, Simmons, all of the nursing schools in the area?
Riviera's over in Nashua.
Yeah.
UNH is over here. She has attended the job fairs and stuff, but I think if you had Michelle on here, and Jason might be able to speak to it too. Those nurses that are going out are not typically looking at long-term care. They're looking to get into hospital environments to have a choice of looking at where they'll end up. Maternity, operating rooms, those types of things. It takes a special, and I know Jason will say this too, it takes a special person that wants to come over into long-term care. We do rotate some of those nursing groups. They do rotate in as part of their clinical. So they're here on Rockingham County soil, seeing how operationally we're working. And we might get one if we're lucky, but they're not coming back to stay here. They want to get out into the other population and other markets. It's just, Jason, maybe you can add to it, but I think you have a better spectrum with Michelle on that.
You know, it's always, staffing has always been an issue in long-term care, and it's, you know, COVID has just exacerbated that tremendously. I would say that, you know, most grads want to go in the hospital because they can find many different tracks. And trial different things to find what their passion is. It's hard to find somebody dedicated to long-term care, and especially into nursing home. It's hard work. But, you know, there are those that have that passion and that desire to, this is their niche and this is what they want. And I think that it's a slow recruitment process. It's slow everywhere. Bentley Commons just announced that they're actually closing their Bedford long-term care community, which is an assisted living and long-term care and independent living, just due to regulatory climate, increased minimum staffing ratios, staffing issues. So, you know, a lot of competition out there, having a hard time filling beds. You know, there's other communities that are already in contact with those staff members. That's literally what we're doing, is stealing staff from one healthcare community to another to fill our openings. And do sign-on bonuses help? Well, we've seen that it doesn't. You know, we have these significant sign-on bonuses and they're not even attracting people. You know, we have a lot of communities that are constantly recruiting and hiring, and I don't see, you know, a bright spot with this for a period of time. And especially if CMS puts in a staffing minimum requirement for RN coverage, we're going to have to really take a close look at that. LPNs, unfortunately, are not part of that equation. And so we're going to have to really take a close look on making sure that we have RN coverage 24/7, depending on the number of ratio per staff with residents. So
It's been 7 years, I think, probably 7 years since we've hired an RN, and we
I
have,
was
we
just
just
that's
hired
still
one,
aligning.
which is huge
Just
for us.
hiring our end.
We
I
are,
did notice that.
we are
hired
very
an RN.
excited about that. We couldn't be happier. And we have a unit manager that we did a first interview on. Michelle wanted to kind of walk through the process of the interview again and kind of, you know, consider it. So there's going to be a second interview, so that might fill that unit manager. So we are making some headway. It's the LNA, I don't know if Jason would concur, but it's the LNA population that we're really, really having a difficult time trying to get staff in.
well, absolutely. LNA is because you can work in an assisted living and not have the number of caseload and not have the high acuity rate, make the same amount of money or more. And so that attracts individuals to work as an LNA. And we've implemented the new program with Care Partners. Has that been successful? Yes, we've recruited individuals for our assisted living with that. But, you know, even those individuals, it's tough. It's a tough market. Especially with an unemployment rate of what, less than 2%, a little over 1%. So
Yeah.
I foresee, and I'm sorry, I'm not bringing good news to the table. It's a struggle. I talk with my peers, and the first topic on every conversation is staffing and how it impacts our ability to admit residents and take care of individuals. And what's been very reassuring with myself and the direction from all of you as commissioners and the delegation is we're very fortunate where we're not putting revenue over quality of care. And I think we've seen that with our 5-star rating and our customer service satisfactions, that we're not impacting resident satisfaction outcomes, not only through activity-based programming, but nursing care and physician services. If anything, we've increased all those services to make sure that our residents are getting the best care and services as possible, even with a shrinking workforce.
I would really like to see an effort of talking to new grads to see what would be what would entice them to want to work here. They've gotten a taste. They have reasons why they don't want to work here. And maybe we ought to hear those as well as a way to figure out. Rockingham County has always stood out among its peers, and it's because of our willingness to think outside the box, I believe, and come up with creative solutions. And I just want to full court press on this to try to get better at figure
Yeah.
something out. I don't have the answer. I don't know if it's education credits. Are these graduates that getting a BS in nursing, are they interested in getting their master's degree? And we can, make a deal with UNH to subsidize it, or I don't know. There's got to be an enticement.
We talked about.
We serve filet mignon every afternoon.
We talked before about loan forgiveness, and that's something that I have pushed out there to the HR affiliate. I think there's one other county that is doing that. That is, I think, something that might have an impact to anybody, because, you go and you get your degrees and then you have all this loan. So that might be something to look at as a loan forgiveness
I think
type
we
of
should
thing
look
for
at that.
them.
I support that, Allison. I think that's a really great and creative way to help enforce LNAs to go on for their LPN or RN. I like that idea.
With that, because we would be making, the forgiveness payment on behalf of them. And it's a little bit different than a sign-on bonus because, we're tying it into their longevity here. So if you stay here over
Right.
X years, this is the contribution for loan forgiveness we might be willing to do for
Maybe
you.
we can pay a portion of their payment, moving, as long as they're here, we'll pay half their loan. I don't know.
It
We'd have to
would
look at the
depend.
numbers.
Yeah, definitely. But that's something that I'd like to kind of bring back to the board after I get some more feelers out there from that other county about how they're doing it and if that's had an impact to retain. Retain is also important for us too, to retain what we have. And then promote those that are in LPNs here to have them want to move on to RN and not worry about the whole burden of the cost, even though we have educational assistance. That's something we can look at too, is the educational assistance. We don't have a lot of activity on that, so maybe we should be looking at that in the budget right now, maybe in our end of things a little bit, where we have recognition and engagement on that to kind of foster, hey, if you want to take a class, maybe it is something instead of 50% or 80% that will pay up to 3 classes during the year for you if you're in the track and you've been accepted and in that track. I mean, there's a couple different things we can look at for sure. I'll put that on the HR table to kind of start navigating through.
And also, I think we also need to look at increasing salaries.
Well, we're in,
It's-
we're in a.
As
we're-
much as I don't
Yeah.
like that concept, I think
But
that,
you'll be in negotiations this year.
No, it's 2025. Their contract goes through 2025.
I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about, just mentioning other employees as well.
no,
We're
I
talking
was
about nursing.
specifically RNs, because that's crippling us if we don't get enough, especially if there's a ratio that we have to have to population.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I just want to say, and it was mentioned here, there's the pool is very limited, and everybody's got their hands, and everyone's got a creative way to grab these people. Part of it's housing, because you can't find housing, we're in Brentwood, the average home in Brentwood's probably like 600,000, so, some of these people in an LNA positions can't afford that kind of housing, but when they start to solve that, maybe things will turn the corner, and then, of course, I personally think it boils down to money, and with these third-party vendors paying them what they pay, it's just very clean. But anyway, we can have further discussion.
I've written down some notes.
Yeah, okay, let's do the accounts payable list.
Make a motion to approve the remainder of the consent agenda, which includes an accounts payable list total of $1,256,406.18.
I'll second that motion. Is there any discussion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes,
And I vote yes. Want the liaison, Commissioner Godu, do you have anything?
we had an initial discussion meeting on childcare. I thought it was well attended and it was very productive. We're gonna focus on gathering more information on the details of what is required. And also to focus on speaking with, surveying our current employees and finding out what their feelings are, would they take advantage of, how many would take advantage of. I think that there's interest across every department. If we can figure out how to make it work, I think that it will be very fruitful, but It's an initial meeting. It'll take probably, 8 months to really even put a dent in this, but we've started and it's a good group. And I thought I was very pleased with the interest and activity that we had that day.
Very good. Anything else?
Our department heads will give their own reports.
Okay, so for me, I just want to mention, a couple of quick things. I get a memo from, Superintendent Henry on, supporting a letter of support for, the ICE program, so. Yeah, we'll probably bring that up on the new business, but I just wanted to bring that up here, and then, the other thing was, excuse me for a second. And yeah, the opioid committee, I don't know who, there was one scheduled today. I thought it was Commissioner Coyle's turn to attend. So, I'm thinking that we may want to call this one off and just make it a different day when Commissioner Coyle's here. Unless you feel like you want to attend it.
I will attend if there's going to be still a meeting today. I'm gonna be in the area, so I'm available to attend.
Okay,
Who else is going?
I don't know.
So I don't know if we have any items to bring forward, and Jason might know, maybe, I don't know if anything has come out of the sheriff's office for any ideas, or from Jason for the DOC, but Chuck won't be there. I'm hesitant because I have conflicts with another meeting, but I can attend, but right now I think it would be Jason, myself. Oh, Jason Smith would come?
Well, I have a conflict today, but I've already submitted my proposal for long-term care several weeks ago. I sent that
Right.
to Commissioner Coyle and to Jason and to Layla. And so I put a presentation together of kind of what I thought we could allocate to support long-term care initiatives. So if you need more information on my behalf, I'm happy to provide that. But unfortunately, my schedule today, I have a conflict.
So it sounds like it'd be beneficial just to move it. That's okay.
I don't, so just me, I don't have anything new to bring forward. The last grants were just submitted for the opioid reimbursement. So even on the grant stuff, I meet July 10th and we'll be talking about what the next round's gonna look like, which then we can actually have a healthier discussion of things we might be able to put in for in that big pool. Once I know what what we can actually apply for.
Okay,
All right, specifically on that committee, I'm concerned about the X-ray machine that's down at the corrections, and we should be talking about the potential to use the opioid abatement money to replace it.
Yeah.
If that's what's necessary. I haven't had the full discussion to know
So-
exactly what your recommendation is.
That's up and running right this second. And I have several companies I'm looking at, gonna need to go out, basically go out to an RFP is what I need to do, because it's a lot of money. So I'm trying to gather the information and compile it together, put a comprehensive RFP together. But I do think we need to look at the technology in all of them. I've got 3 or 4 of them. It's all changed so much. The machine that we have, so it is time. So I'm working on that.
Okay, good. That's
Very
fine.
good.
We'll skip the opioid meeting.
Okay. Very good. Layla, maybe you can send out an email to everybody that may possibly show up. All right, so we're gonna move on to the CDBG grant.
Make a motion to select Donna Lane as the CDBG grant application writer based on experience and reasonableness of cost, and to authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents.
Second. Any discussion on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes,
I vote yes. Department of Corrections, inmate administrative transfer.
make a motion to approve an inmate administrative transfer dated June 22nd, 2022. Is that accurate?
Oh, sorry, that's my error.
Should be 20.
All right, we'll try that again.
2023.
Make a motion to approve an inmate administrative transfer dated June 22nd, 2023, transferring an inmate to Carroll County Department of Corrections pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 30-B:21, as recommended by the superintendent.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Finance office. Katie. Casey.
I make a motion to approve the submittal of an application for the 2023 ARPA Cybersecurity Implementation Grant for an amount up to $100,000, and upon approval, authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Finance.
I'll second that motion. Is there discussion? Commissioner Godu on the motion?
Yes.
I vote yes. Human Resources.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of various gift cards as identified on the memo from Human Resources dated June 26, 2023, utilizing category 2.35 of the ARPA project funds as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second on that motion. Is there discussion on that one? On the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion 2.
Make a motion to implement a disclaimer that once the employee accepts the gift card and signs the tax form, Rockingham County is not responsible for any financial loss if the employee is unable to use the gift card as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
I will second that. Is there any discussion?
Yes, there is.
Okay,
Okay, that hasn't been in place until you're promoting that today, but I have an employee that Park Place Lane's closed and she received $100 gift certificate. I don't know about how many others received this gift certificates, but they're closed and nothing's being honored. So that's an issue. Now I have an issue because this is coming before you without, and my person's been calling HR for over a week, waiting for information. And now this is the result. It's gonna be, we're gonna, at this meeting, undermine and figure out what we're gonna do. So it's pretty much you're out of luck. I'm not
Yeah.
happy with that.
Kathy, we haven't been able to discuss it because that was in the past tax year. So the taxes went for 2022. And in my research going through it, and Chuck's not here, but that was done for the tax year 2022. That gift card was giving out in November. We had no knowledge of any kind of financials of this. It wasn't in the Better Business Bureau. We looked it up. We've been doing research through the state to find out about this facility. And we're doing it with the best intentions to go to the cities and towns to purchase items. We have no idea what their financial background is. She went to use it just recently and found out it went out. We were never notified. We don't get any notification from the businesses after we purchase those. She can amend her taxes if she chooses to, but we can't reissue another what is it, a W-2?
I don't think she's looking for, I don't think she's looking for your reissue, and I certainly don't think she's gonna want to redo her taxes. That's outrageous.
Exactly, because it's like $6 or $7, but she was concerned about the taxes, and that's what she asked about was the taxes in an email. So that's the email that we got. So that's what we're researching on the tax end,
I
Kathy.
know she actually talked to Jessica on the phone because she wanted to know if there was gonna be a replacement gift card given to her.
My thought was on that is we're taking care of this. So going forward, if we buy these tickets, everybody knows up front that we have no liability if something goes out of business. We just don't have that. We don't have that knowledge. It's no way for us to find out what their financial background is. So that's what going forward. As far as the gift cards, we have another gift cards that's coming out. If you'd like to replace, she can use the next gift card for your department. She can do that. You can choose to give that gift card instead of giving it to somebody else. Give that gift card to her again, honor that by giving her that gift card. That's your choice in your department to do that. I'm not gonna go out and buy a special gift card to what?
And you're not being asked that, Allison. It's a matter of all of a sudden today, this comes before the committee, and nothing's been said. You know that we have an issue with it. Why would you not have reached out to me or my employee and said, this is what we're going to be, or to me, this is what we're going to be doing going forward and presenting before the board. I would have liked to have had that heads up. In all honesty, I think it's the right thing to do, to be letting people know, because there's an issue in my department. That goes without saying.
Well, we
It's
wanted,
It's courtesy.
all right, let's kind of wrap this up. Commissioner Godu's got something.
How many gift cards do we have out there for Park Place Lanes that,
I think there were 10.
and Are there other
This
employees
is the first,
that haven't used their gift card yet?
we have no way of knowing if they used it or not. We can
Okay.
call them all and ask them.
So,
I would like to suggest that, we find out who still has those gift cards. And that we replace those gift cards with another gift card at an equal value. This was supposed to be a positive thing
Correct.
to help boost the morale of employees. It's very disappointing that, we got stuck with this situation. And I think that we need to correct it for this employee and any other employee that has that got it. We have the money to support this. You're buying more gift cards, and I don't want this to be like Kathy can use it for this next distribution and give it to her. I'd like that to be independent of, let's just replace everybody who, has gotten, has a gift card from this place that went out of business.
I'm more than happy to do that. We are asking for that other motion so that we can alert everybody in our newsletter.
From a financial
From a
standpoint.
financial
I'm
standpoint,
in
that's what I
agreement with
wanted
the
to do. It wasn't to get at Kathy's person. I wanted to do this. So the newsletter that's going out, we can put something in there so everybody is aware of that. We're still working on the other thing about finding out information about when the place went out of business. And everything that we've researched so far, we haven't been able to find it. So we have a call into the state because it would be, maybe by the state would know that. So I hadn't got back to the employee because Chuck's not here about the taxes and she specifically asked about taxes. So that, I want to clear that up.
so state law in New Hampshire is gift cards do not expire. That's number one. I don't know what, you're talking about the old Sandy's Bowling Alley, Kathy?
Yeah.
Did you know what they claim for did they claim bankruptcy?
No, they sold it. It's gonna be condos or something.
Oh, well, they just, that, okay. All right. So I think we've discussed enough of
Thank
this,
you.
so. So on the motion. Commissioner Godu?
Yes,
Yes. Next one is the internal only job.
make a motion to approve an internal only posting for one finance office position. And an internal only posting for one assisted living position under chapter 10 recruitment selection and appointment of employees. 10-3 recruitment procedures. B3. Internal 10-day posting.
I'll second. Is there discussion? So just a quick question, so. Am I to interpret this as it's internal posting only for 10 days? If we get nobody, then it goes out.
Correct.
Further questions on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes,
I vote yes. Training request.
make a motion to approve an exception to the conference and training directive for a human resources employee, AK, to attend the strategic HR conference in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, held October 22nd through the 24th, 2023, at an estimated total cost of $2,130 as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
I will second that motion. Is there discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes,
I vote yes. Updated conferences, daily meal cap and total cost.
make a motion to approve the total conference cost threshold before the need for Board of Commissioners approval to be increased to $1,100 per attendee as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
I will second that motion. Is there discussion? On the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes,
I will vote yes. Motion number 2.
I make a motion to set a daily meal cost limit, including reasonable tip amounts of $95 for overnight conferences with 50% of the rate for the first and last day involving air travel.
And the
you
maintains
don't
as
have
well.
that page.
Oh. Regardless of what time the employee departs or returns, and $35 for single day conferences training effective July 1, 2023, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
I will second that motion. Is there discussion?
We do. Yeah.
Okay, who wants to go first?
Katie, we've
All right,
got.
Katie.
Yeah, we've talked about it. So this is the meal cost allowance going from $80 a day to 95, from 25 to 35. The federal rates haven't come out yet. It is reasonable to increase it like this. I don't know what the federal rates are gonna be, or if we're gonna be in line with them, if we're gonna be over or under. I'm not really sure how that's gonna shake out. I do think it's necessary to increase it. I don't know if it's necessary to increase it this much. So I don't know if that's something that we want to talk to Chuck about when he gets back. I have looked at the conference lines. I think they're gonna be fine for the 24 budget.
Okay.
Um,
So. should we
I don't know
table
if we
this
want
for-
Chuck's
should we table
input
this
on
until
this.
Chuck gets back and
Yeah, we'll
maybe
do it.
Commissioner
Yeah,
Coyle?
yeah, I think it'll go up, maybe, I'm thinking maybe only like 85, something like
it might,
that.
yeah.
I mean, alternatively, we could vote for it and amend it later, but I think maybe we table it now.
Yeah.
This is not a pressing issue right now, right?
It just sets it for July 1. That's what it's in the policies and procedures.
Right.
So that's why Leila brought it forward. Well, no, for July 1.
So how do you want to handle it?
I just assume approve this and then
Then we can
amend it
amend
if
it
we
later.
think that we need
Okay,
to
let's do that.
make an amendment.
Let's do that. Okay, so on the motion, Commissioner Godu.
Yes.
Yes. All right, let's see. We have the full execution of the two CBAs. Signatures. The NEPA and the sheriff supervisors. And teams to local 633, Department of Engineering and Maintenance. So that's in our packet, dealing with that. Long-term care services. The Inn at Deerfield Incorporated.
I move to approve the renewal of the Inn at Deerfield Incorporated memo of understanding and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Motion's been made, and I'll second that. Any further discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay, now on department heads, I'm gonna start with Jason Henry, because usually he's last, so I'll mix it up and let him go first.
Actually, not much this week. Right now, we're sitting at 145 inmates in house. The shower project, the half the unit, the showers on the interior and exterior are all been painted and sealed. So we're about finishing up on that unit, painting everything over. They're working on the other side right now, so that's going well. As on my report here, I sent to the commissioners asking for a letter of support for to hold the ICE detainees and the sheriff's department. And I know I've talked to the Major Bashaw and the sheriff. They're working on that. It's just a support letter saying that we, we back the jail in pursuit of looking at holding ICE detainers.
So, Jay, real quick on that, do you want a letter of support from all three, or do you want us individually? How do you want to handle that?
I think just as a board of commissioners is fine. If they want to, you guys want to authorize you to sign it, or all three you want to sign it, just that the board is supports of to at least moving forward with it.
Let me ask Commissioner Godu how he feels about it.
So my question is, how many people do you expect to be coming in to the jail in this capacity? And how is that going to affect staffing?
So this is still going to be almost another year process anyways, but we would open up one unit and you're looking at about 60 inmates. So you're looking at one staff member on each shift to run that, which is 21 spots a week. And so as we are gaining, the amount of spots that I'm authorized, and it would not impact the amount of spots I'm already authorized. So we're not be looking for any more staff, just continue filling it. Right now, we've lost 12 this year, but we've gained about, so lost 12, but total higher of 21. So we're going in the right direction. Another 3 are coming on. I know John just worked with Allison, 3 are coming on soon, a 4th one after that. So we are getting, with the money up there, we are getting applicants and we are hiring people. The video was just released on Indeed as well, which is getting traction. Retired Major Constantino has had several inquiries now. We have that video out there. So I don't anticipate by the time this opens up, I think we'll be okay. It's one of our units that just closed.
What's the time frame you're looking at to start it?
It probably won't be for another 9 months or so.
Oh, 9 months from now?
Yeah, this is just the beginning of the process. We still have to do this. part of it here is just part of the initial application, along with the support letter. Then they put it through their people. There's still a negotiation and the contract stuff. I talked with Major Bashaw and their department because the feds will also pay for transporting the offenders. Because for them, you have to have 2 people. So they pay for those people to do that. Not out of the county, won't be out of county money. So that's part of also the negotiation. So this takes a long time. Then they have to come here and inspect everything. We have to ramp up some of our policies. So it is quite a bit of work with it. This is just the initial stages. And
Okay.
again, this is not committing to it at the end. If we all get through it, we look at it and say, this is not going to work, it's not going to work. This is not a commitment to it.
That's good to know.
So you feel confident that you'll be able to handle that, the additional people?
I do.
Okay,
Okay,
all right, so there's no action needed today, is that correct? So we can wait till Mr. Coyle comes back?
Yeah, whenever you guys, like, you don't need anything today. It's just whenever you guys decide you want to do a support letter, because I'll add it with the paperwork I'm working on.
All right, we'll work on that. What else do you got, Jake?
The X-ray machine is up and running. Like I said, looking at, I've several now companies to look at creating an RFP. We had, thank you to the sheriff's department and all their resources. We had them come in with the dogs and search one of our units real well. We are working more and more with them to try to do that on a more scheduled, more often than the jail has ever done in the past, to try to combat and keep the drugs outside of here and keep them on their toes. The inmates know that we're actively searching and working with our local partners on those kinds of events. And really, that's right now, that's all we got going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Jason Smith.
Good morning, Commissioners. Let's see, we've had 1 employee test positive, no exposure with other residents, very minimal. We tested a couple of residents, no issues. We've updated the signage. Now, when you enter the community, it's reflected to the most recent CDC guidance. In addition to that, we continue with the food drive that the residents are sponsoring, which is a fun activity to give back to the community for them. Also, we are working with Glendale, as we have been. We're actually opening up the neighborhood kitchens on B1. We're going to be trialing that starting in the next couple of weeks. So we're really excited that we're going to be opening up the dining room kitchens. And so residents will have a wait staff actually take their orders and go take their plate and bring it to them right then and there. So we're going to be reducing the amount of trays that will be delivered to the floors. So that's really exciting. Once that goes well and we iron out all the bugs, we'll be moving on to B2 to expand that service as well. In addition, assisted living, we'll be now doing full dining services in the next month, 7 days a week, all 3 meals. So that's really a great opportunity for our residents to get back to full dining services, restaurant style. Not only are we preparing for our annual survey for CMS, we are also preparing for our Medicare Part B billing audit with our compliance company, FSA. It's one of our 3 audits that we have around billing every year. And so that will be conducted on July 20th. In addition to that, I've also provided you with the quarterly long-term care friends and family newsletter that Jessica Wendell has published and put out to the individuals on our wait list and family members. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. We go to Kathy Stacy. Morning, Kathy.
Good morning, everybody. I really don't have anything to report. We're chugging along. You know, it's pretty quiet here right now, unfortunately. And that's pretty much my report. Thank you.
Okay. I don't see the sheriff's department.
Well, it's nice to see Tom Morello at the meeting. Even put a tie on today, Tom. You're looking good over there. Nothing new to report.
Okay,
Thank you.
let's go to Jude.
Morning. I have nothing new to report. We're very busy. All's
Okay.
well.
Okay, Katie
Thank you.
Casey. How's finance doing?
Finance is doing great. We're getting ready for the year-end close, so we've been busy with that. Other than that, it's business as usual.
Okay. Excellent. All right, Allison.
Hi, we've been just super busy. We've had to do a second audit of all the enrollments, as you know, because we had to open up the window for 17 employees to finish. So we have to go, some individuals in the county went back in and changed their elections. Not the 17 that were in there, so we have to do a full audit of all of the enrollments. So we're a little bit behind, but hope to have that accomplished by tomorrow. Anybody that went into the platform, when it had closed, anything that they had changed will be pulled out of that because they weren't part of the people that hadn't done it. Out of the 17 original individuals that you gave us permission to open up the platform for, 6 Department of Corrections staff did nothing, others did, and we have one of those 6 COs has the bio, but it closed. You gave us the window of time. They had to go in. So we still have 6 individuals that didn't change. So whatever they had in the system at the time will carry
Just
over to the
carries
new
over.
plan year,
And
with exception to the bio, because they had to go in and do that in order to get the bio.
so that's really the only exception.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So once we finish that, we hope to have the audit done by tomorrow. I know everyone's waiting for the Yeti cups. And we are hopeful to get those out into everybody's hands starting next week after the holiday. So if you could just bear with us, you'll be getting them. And we'll be able to get those distributed. I have no idea who's got what. I have not, but everybody's jumping at the bit to get those Yeti cups and open the boxes. We opened the box to make sure it looked right, and it did. So that's all we've done so far. So other than that, we're just doing the wellness, a lot of wellness stuff that we're doing. And Motivate Me, that is tied to year end. For those monies that will go out as well. We're doing the audit of that and making sure everybody's accounted for the different activities they did. So it is a busy time for us, and we're just getting through it. Thank
very
you.
much. Leila, do you have anything that we need to broadcast?
I have nothing this week, thanks.
Nothing? Now you're on vacation next week, or is that the week after?
No, not next week, it's the week after.
Okay, so
I am off tomorrow.
I do,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we do have one thing. We have it pertains to the Department of Corrections. We had 2 MOUs. They are expiring on the 30th of June. They are for the lieutenants and majors to pick up the bonuses. It's a pickup bonus, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Jason?
Pick up, you mean to be able to take overtime for relief for mandates? Yeah, I think that's what we called it, yeah.
So I don't know, I will work on those MOUs, but to bring it back to the board to see if the board still would like to move forward and have that go for another year. But I'm not sure what the pleasure of the board is on that, so I can ask for that on the agenda next week. And Jason, you and I can connect in and talk about that a little bit more.
Okay.
Thank you. That's out there.
All right. So now our payroll only is next week, or the week after.
I think it's
Yeah,
AP
it's an
only.
AP only.
Next week.
It's not next
The
week.
following,
Yeah.
following,
Okay.
so that's why I asked.
On the first.
Okay. So we're all set with department heads. We go to new business, old business. Anyone have any new business? If not, we're gonna move on to public comment. Does anyone have public comment? I see one member of the public.
Good morning, everybody. I don't know if
Morning.
I unmuted it. I haven't done this mute Zoom thing for a long time, so I guess you guys are hearing me. Nice to see all of yous, and congratulations on passing the budget. 10 years I was there. It's not an easy thing to pass, so congratulations to the department heads, the commissioners, the division directors, and I look forward. I took a ride down there the other day and I saw a bunch of excavators across the street, so I was smiling from ear to ear, and hopefully someday I'll have an office in that building. But have a good 4th, everybody. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Proud of everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Nice to see all of you.
Any other public comment? I think that's it. So we're gonna move on to a non-public session. So I wish everybody a good day. Need to be here.
I move to enter non-public session per New Hampshire RSA 91-A:3, section 2A, for personnel discussion.
I'll second that. On the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. So right before we go in, I'm gonna take a couple minute break here, real briefly, before we start that non-public. But thank you, everybody.
All right, we're back in public session and I make a motion to seal the non-public minutes indefinitely because it is determined that divulgence of this information would likely render a proposed action ineffective.
I will second that motion, and on that motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes,
and I will vote yes. So we are done. So I'll take a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Thank
We are adjourned.
you.
What time is, oh,